What was it about the story that resonated with you when you first read the script?
I think the way in which The Falling explores female adolescence and the feelings and emotions that you feel when your body is completely changing, when your hormones are all over the place, and how it kind of portrayed what's going on in Lydia's mind when her best friend, who she's spent so much time with and invested so much emotional energy into, has now got a boyfriend and is having sex and exploring herself, and it's just like the scary moment when you let go of childhood and accept being adulthood. And I love that about it. It's never really been done quite as honestly as this script was written.
Was it interesting for you as well, going back to the late 1960s and exploring how a teenager would think at that particular period of time?
Exactly, and the differences in like the way schools are run and the way in which you would behave are extremely different. The consequences were so much higher. And I think about kids at school shouting out and calling out and things like that, and when we sort of took it back to 69, it was just the strangest thing in the way in which our school day was ran on set, and every morning we'd say good morning to our teacher, which you would never get anymore. And it was just so interesting to do, and they made it very real on set, which is very helpful.
We're dealing with a story about female adolescence in 1969. What made that particular year the right period for you to draw?
I mean, I think for me it was 1969 was a year that was kind of an adolescent year, and I think it was about to become something else in the 70s. So I think the 60s was kind of the beginning of something. It was early on in kind of culture and society and stuff. I also love the idea that in 1969 man landed on the moon, and yet people were still grumbling about them introducing a new 50-pence coin. So it was I think a very young era, a very young year. I like the things that went on that year, and for me I also love setting what is ostensibly a film that I think will have a broad audience, but it's actually a teen picture that I think teens will resonate with them. And I love the idea that you could set it in 1969 and strip the technology away, because there's no way now you could make a film without having someone text or someone do a computer. And so I just love that it strips it away, and what you get to the heart to is pure emotion and pure feeling.
As we were saying earlier, I mean, the storyline about the girls and the girls themselves aren't that far away from girls nowadays. And you look at the things that they deal with, you look at the emotions that they're going through at the time of puberty, and if we were to look at girls nowadays, they wouldn't be that much different. It's just the date. And I think that's also something that everyone should take into consideration when they watch it. I mean, we're dealing with the same things now, and as a girls' film for women to approach is great.
And also, Florence, this is your first film, so for yourself, what did Florence bring as an innocence perhaps to the film that maybe a more established actor wouldn't have?
I think different actors bring different things, and I think you always want to work with what they have, and so somebody can be very, very skilled, and I think like Maisie is somebody that can really bring something, a quality of I'm trying to think of the word, but a professionalism, but also an instinct. And I think those two qualities are wonderful to make films. And I think with Florence Pugh here, she had instinct, and you could tell that straight away. But I think what she learnt on the film, and probably learnt it a lot through Maisie, is a kind of way that you deal with a film set, that you can begin to be in one room where something else is going on and come onto set and be that person. So I think the training, there was training for you really in a weird way, but the instinct was already there, and you can't manufacture the instinct. You can learn the training, you can learn what it's like to be on set, how to bring certain stuff, but I think Maisie was definitely a key component.
Definitely. Maisie led me all the way by the hand, basically.
Yeah, I think so, because I think she gave you a confidence, didn't she? I mean, obviously
I'm sure everyone knows what they can do, but unless you feel comfortable, you're not going to be able to do it. And
I made her feel comfortable.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Sometimes I tried to shout at you now and again.
But I couldn't have been led by anyone better.
It was a brilliant teaming, and it just makes me so glad you're really good friends. Women friendship.
Yeah.
Yes.